All right, we got a special guest today, war veteran Terry. He fought the Axis of Power back in his day. Tell us all about it, Terry.
I'm not that old.
Could've
Come
fooled me.
on. My daughter's name is Fifi though, so there's that.
Welcome back to the Almost Science Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam, and that is Terry, and we are here breaking down another episode of Better Call Saul. This one is titled Terry's Daughter, and it debuted 4/14/2016. I'm really looking forward to talking about Fifi. Laughing at my own jokes. It's a midlife crisis. I swear, it's a curse and a gift. But anyway, welcome back. If you've been following along, we really appreciate all the support on this series. Terry, how you been?
How you doing?
How you doing? Good. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I feel like we're starting to inch our way towards the end of the season and setting some stuff up that could be kind of interesting that I'm sure we'll get into. As now we've only got 2 more episodes until the end of season 2. So we'll see kind of where things go from here. But this is a setup episode where we get a lot of things like feel like they're about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see, is this a season where all the chaos happens in the last episode, or is it a season where the chaos happens in the second to last and you see the fallout in the last episode? So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but this will be a good episode to break down. Shall we get into it?
Yeah, this is a completely different tonal shift from the last episode for sure too. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, let's dive into it. Let's hit that synopsis.
Let's do it. Better Call Saul season 2, episode 8 is entitled Fifi.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy and Kim are doing it. They are starting their own firms and going to share the expenses. Yeah, that kind of doing it. As Kim resigns from HHM, Howard wishes her luck while also fighting bitterly to retain Mesa Verde, the new client Kim had just brought into their firm. Kim meets with them and thinks she has won them over. That is until Chuck gets involved. Chuck can sweet talk anyone when he wants to, and he sweet talks Mesa Verde into staying with HHM. Now Kim lost the primary revenue stream she was expecting and is having cold feet about leasing their shared converted dentist office. Jimmy sees Kim struggling and, in between covertly shooting commercials on military bases, sees an opportunity to help Kim and do some slipping. Chuck's meeting left him completely debilitated, and he has to sleep it off for the better part of 24 hours. While Jimmy is watching over him while he sleeps, he swipes some Mesa Verde paperwork and switches some numbers around, potentially sabotaging HHM's representation of the bank. Jimmy doesn't feel good about it, but he does it anyways. Now, Mike is continuing to monitor the Mexican place where he met Hector Salamanca. Finally, Hector shows up again when an ice cream truck arrives with a shipment from Mexico. He follows Hector's car and the ice cream truck to a garage where he gets an idea. What is the idea? Not sure, but it looks like it involves a hose full of nails.
Homemade spike strip.
Yes, but how will he use it?
Yeah. Finally, highly useful. Oh, sorry. Well, listen, all y'all. This is Sabotage. That's right. Slipping Jimmy did the thing. He slipped. This is a cool. There's some fun episode, some stuff to have. It definitely has that cliffhanger setup vibe to it. I do think that I'm more leaning forward to it's probably going to happen the next episode, and we're going to have the Fallout episode at the finale. Or it could be the other way around. Who knows? But this was there was a lot of good things going on. Not much Jimmy, funny enough. Like in this episode, like the first 25 minutes, he pops up at the dentist office, and that's about it, and then all of a sudden he has this big long sequence at the airbase, which I think is pretty dang funny as well. And there's some really fun stuff that does happen. We do focus a lot on Kim, and I think she does shine, and just fortunately she gets kind of like she gets chucked, which kind of sucks. But Chuck got what's coming to him, so it's. I think there's going to be some legal ramifications after the fact, but at the same time, it's still cool to see Jimmy do the thing to his brother, kind of get back at taking care of his business associate, his fellow, I don't know, tenant. They're not really. Kim's not really the tenant, but they're sharing the lease at least. So partner.
Yeah. I mean, co-tenant, you could say.
Co-tenant. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun episode, and as I was thinking about it, I'm like, there's not too many new faces, but then I went on the IMDb page, and there's quite a bit of new faces.
There's a few.
And they're pretty there's at least one that for sure I recognized kind of right away too, which is cool. But this is a fun episode. It definitely feels completely different than the kind of the finding yourself episode that we just had the week before. But really solid episode that kind of made me want to start playing on the next episode right after I got done, because I wanted to see what's up with that hose. It definitely wasn't for his roadies, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I've said it before. I like how we've kind of settled into we're following three characters. There are three main characters that we're following through everything that's going on. We're following Jimmy, we're following Kim, and we're following Mike. And the other characters that are involved, they get involved when they are into their sphere of influence in some way. And so it's is their story progressing? And last week was all about Jimmy, and this week is more Kim and Mike. And Jimmy kind of plays the back seat and only steps in when he's needed for Kim's story. It's interesting that now we've got Mike completely off on his own. All right. With like every now and then, sometimes Jimmy gets into Mike's periphery, but right now it's just we just get Mike scenes, which is kind of cool because even in Breaking Bad, you don't get Mike scenes, right? You get what's Mike doing for Gus? What's Mike doing for Saul? What's Mike doing for Walt? Now it's just what's Mike doing for Mike, and that's kind of cool. We don't see that very often, and that's the rhythm we've gotten into almost exclusively with Mike right now. And just because he, kind of tangentially knows who Jimmy is, so I think when whatever Mike's doing is fascinating, because that's the storyline where you're really getting the Breaking Bad crossover stuff right now. Is what is Mike doing with the Salamancas? How is that kind of playing together? And that's always fascinating stuff.
Yeah, the Mike stuff is very interesting. It's looking what he's doing his old cop stuff, staking out the joint, and it's kind of clear that the Salamancas necessarily don't know who they're dealing with because he's such an unknown at this time. And you brought it up last time, like I'm watching the show thinking like, oh, this is Mike. He's an established person in this room, but no, he's not. So we're seeing the rise of the Ehrmantraut right now, and kind of doing the cool things he's doing. So I'm really excited to see however he takes down that ice cream truck, which is kind of a cool little sequence there too. Like it made me want to have a popsicle. Maybe it's the heat, maybe it's watching this, but I definitely wanted a popsicle.
Yeah, that is true. That looked like a really good. It didn't look. It looked more like a fruit bar, like a really good
like a mango fruit bar,
solid mango fruit bar. Like, oh, that
sounds good right now. Actually, a little coconut bar, maybe.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. All right. Well, let's talk about best scene. I just gushed over Mike and how interesting his stuff is. Yet I've got 3 scenes. Well, kind of 4, and only the kind of one involves Mike in any way, shape, or form. So let's talk about what is your best scene of this episode.
I have two.
Okay. Give me one.
Chuck retaining his client. It sucks, but you already know that. But at the same time, well, you're a little older, so you remember the things, but you don't necessarily remember like the young bucks do. But I still have that knowledge. Trying to persuade him with that kind of like the good wordplay, and he's like, "Don't worry, leave the lights on. Everybody keeps their cell phone. I got this." And he freaking comes in like Steph Curry, draining threes, coming off the bench, hitting a home run. It's Hail Mary pass with a broken arm, or I don't know. But he comes in the clutch, and that's exactly what Howard needed. He's like, "I don't know banking law that well. I need some help."
Yeah.
Calling in the reinforcement, the muscle, as it were. And while I don't like the scene, it's hard to deny how good that scene is, because just how Chuck owns it, and he gives Kim his props, just like Kim gave HHM their props as well. But unfortunately, they have a whole team, and it's just Kim. So,
yeah, I had that one down too. I just called it Chuck sweet talking.
Yeah,
and
sweet talking. Yeah, sweet talking. Chuck.
He's so good at that, and it goes so well for him. Like he just like hardcore, just like nails that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, he doesn't badmouth Kim, and he compliments her, but also lays out like, let's think about this for a second here. Yeah, she's the one that brought you in here, but there's a reason she brought you in here. And I thought it just how he played that was perfect. And then the other thing that I find so fascinating about that scene is the lengths Chuck is willing to go, the sacrifices Chuck is willing to make sure Jimmy doesn't get a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay, going with Kim, that makes sense. Working with Jimmy. Well, now I can put a suit on and I can do something about it. Otherwise, it was just going to let it go. But as soon as he heard, oh, Kim's going to work with Jimmy, well, I have to stop Jimmy at all costs, because there's no reason why, or Jimmy's not allowed to succeed in this line of work. And the way he's able to just pull that out, the way he can suck it up when it means screw in Jimmy. And that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, him and his brother, it's like, we have our differences, but I would do the same for you, Jimmy. Yeah.
He just knows how to do it the legal way.
The legal way, yeah. The Kim
and
Wexler
Jimmy,
way.
like Jimmy and Chuck are not that different.
No, they're not.
They're very similar. It's just Chuck has learned how to do it the right way. What Jimmy just only knows how to cut the corners to do.
I think it would be fascinating. We just saw that flashback last week with the wolves and the sheep, with young Jimmy and his father. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting, because bringing up the point of they're not too far, they're pretty similar. But seeing how Chuck, justifying in his mind how he kind of maybe screwed over his father, but in the right way. Trying to see that. It'd be interesting to see that comparison. Will they do that? Probably not. But at the same time, it is kind of like they are pretty much the same. It's just,
yeah. Well, and at least the way Chuck has told the story so far, the only reason Chuck has a vindictive bone in his body is because Jimmy has forced him to have one.
Uh-huh.
And so,
I don't believe that all the time.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see, as what would happen if you saw what Chuck was like as a kid. We haven't seen that yet, and we might see it still.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Another one I have down. Kim resigning. That was another one I had written down.
She starts storming running to her office.
Well, yeah, but just the conversation between her and Howard is great. Of how Howard already knows that something's going on, but the fact that she's not going to Schweikart and Coakley and is going to start her own thing, and how he just kind of is like, "Wow, good for you." I'm like, I envy you. And wish that I could, and like he wishes he could have done that, but
my dad said no.
They wanted to add another H to the law firm and make it HHM and not just H&M. So that whole conversation, you could see in Howard just like, oh, the missed opportunities of youth that I didn't have be able to do, and respect to her for being able to take the step and actually do it. But I'm going to get my client. But and when it came down to it, it's like, all right, it is time to damage control. But in the moment, he's able to have that tender conversation and really have a heart to heart with Kim that he hadn't had in a while, especially since she'd been in the doghouse.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that one too. It's a good sequence. And I also like too that they said, well, Schweikart offered, like, well, we'll pay off your college loan so you don't have any dets. But Howard said, no, we'll
Our
pay
gift to you.
It's our gift to you. That was cool. I like that. It's a mutual respect thing. So, and it's like I was a little harder on you because I knew you could take it, or knew you can get it done, or what, or you could. Yeah, that was also really cool. So, much respect for Howard, even though he comes across a little bit douchey at first, but because he's like kind of like, you're already leaving, I'm just gonna whatever, but then realize it's okay, it's not as bad, but we still need our client though. But I like it.
Yeah, it went from him being cold of like, oh, you're leaving for the competitor. Oh no, you're leaving to do your own thing.
Nice. Okay,
that's actually pretty cool.
The plot thickens. Yeah, there we go.
Right,
I gotta mention Fudge. I got him. Good old Fudge Talbot, World War veteran. Yeah, he's out fighting Germany. I was out fighting the Japanese.
His plane was in the Pacific.
You don't have any lines. Shut up, cheese. Yeah, it's a funny sequence, and like obviously we haven't even like it's just like a random scene in the middle of this show right now because we don't have a payoff on that yet, because that's why it's a setup episode. But also I think it's going to be ridiculous, and I cannot wait for it.
It felt very similar to the billboard scene. Where it was just kind of all right, we're going to set this whole thing up and then see what kind of chaos we can create with it. Yeah, that was cool. That was a good one. All right, so the other... Go ahead.
No, these are my these are his grandsons. Oh, you heard some war stories. Yeah. About war.
Bomb and stuff.
And bombings. Yeah, yeah, war.
Yeah. That was great. Like, oh, I think you need some water.
Yeah.
Stop talking. So two other ones I have down, and the reason I have them down is more for the filmmaking of it than anything. The opening scene.
Oh, brilliant.
One continuous shot tracking scene from being in line to going through the inspection to getting out of the inspection and driving away, like that whole thing. It had to be a drone, right? Like my wife and I were talking, that had to be a drone shot to be able to go from the high overhead to down next to the driver to through to into the garage. Like, unless they found some spots to throw in a creative cut, it looked like it was all one thing.
Yeah, that's a great too. And it sets in the tone too. It exactly, like it's a completely different tone. You get that really high, like I mentioned, MVP was like the song from the closing song from the last episode. It's completely different openings, like beat to it as well. from the score to the way it's shot to just like you know what's happening, and you kind of already know what that truck is without ever being told. You see it, and you can put pieces together. You know that's a Salamanca truck. So it's
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. I like it. So it was great. Great call.
That was great filmmaking. The other one that was great filmmaking was at the end when it was just great editing where we had a transition of scenes from Mike drilling the holes in the hose
The
to
water.
washing the hose,
Yeah.
and you got the and then the drill transition to the water running, and it was just like
That's good.
like
Yeah.
okay, that was a really cool little crossfade transition that they had there, and the similar sound like that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So I had that too. All right, the Betsy Kettleman douchebag award.
Saul Goodman, kind of, because he used the public masturbator as a war vet. Kind of, but he's not he's being truthful to get on there, but he got it done. But
He got what he needed.
he got the shot. But yeah, in hindsight, if they ever like, wait a second, that was a commercial. We've been duped.
Yeah,
We took a photo of that guy.
and the Fifi,
and the fudge Talbot, yeah. So
because the Fifi was the plane.
Yes, the Fifi was the plane.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. I have for my douchebag, I have Chuck and Jimmy.
Yeah,
and just they're
way
back
around,
and forth, tete-a-tete. Like Chuck has to screw over Jimmy, so Jimmy has to screw over Chuck. Chuck just does it in a way that is all above board, and Jimmy goes and does some slipping Jimmy. But the only reason Jimmy even goes there is because of how it's screwing over Kim. But he can't help but bend the rules, right? Like he's got to really, well, that's more than bending the rules, but he takes advantage of it and goes for it. And yeah, there's going to be some fallout, some ramifications. It's just a matter of what it's going to be and how it's going to happen. But yeah, the two of them going back and forth, they both were petty little douchebags in this episode.
Yeah, this is true.
Towards each other.
Yeah.
All right, Stickman Award. The Stickman Award, it's fudge. I mean,
yeah, fudge.
I mean, technically, you could say it's not fudge because he was getting it on, but not getting it in. That's the whole reason he was arrested in the first place. But at the same time, like that guy's cool. He's got some experience to him. He's
yeah.
He
was getting it in Nam. Yeah. With cargo shorts.
Yes.
Well, I didn't put that down, but I put Jimenez, Manuel, Yurza, which is the driver of the popsicle truck, because literally he
got the stick in the ground. Is that what you're going for here?
Well, he had several popsicle sticks. He is a stick man. He has a stick, he's a man. Zach logic.
And he's gotten those sticks in
the ground
to the sand. Yeah.
Yeah, he's drawn a line in the sand.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's about as good as my lack of stickmanery for getting arrested for public masturbation. The best new face. Hey, that's Danny Trejo. You said you've got someone you recognized right away.
Yeah, Captain Bauer.
Okay.
Captain Bear, Brendan Fair. And I recognize him because we just watched the Final Destination franchise, and he was in the first Final Destination as George Wagner, which is the brother of Devon Sawa's best friend. What's this guy? The guy's name? I can't remember. Todd. Yeah, Todd Wagner, who George stayed on the premonition plane, the plane that ended up exploding in the beginning of Final Destination. So he died right away, while his brother got off the plane and died horrifically. But But yeah, I recognized the brother in Final Destination pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's been in a few TV shows. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy in a small part. He was in X-Men First Class in a small part.
Yeah. He was in Disturbing Behavior with Nick Stahl and was it James Marsden and Katie Holmes. Yeah, it's another fun movie from '98. That's a good soundtrack.
He had 61 episodes of the TV show Roswell, which I never watched, but I remember hearing about it. 35 episodes of CSI Miami.
There we go. X-Men First Class.
5 episodes of Bones. Jared Booth. That's got to be like Booth's brother or something. 45 episodes of a show called The Night Shift. I don't remember that at all. The Night Shift. Who is... Yeah, he's third build. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That was one of the ones I had written down just because he had some stuff I'd recognized. The other one was the ice cream truck driver. Ximenez Lacerda. It looked like he was in some stuff. I'm trying to remember. Oh, he was in Run, Sweetheart, Run, which was kind of funny.
Yeah,
he played a priest.
Author. Yeah, priest.
Yeah. He was in Rambo: Last Blood.
Oh yeah, that was a good one against the cartel.
He had an episode of NCIS at one point. But I mean, NCIS has been on so long. Who hasn't?
Yeah, it's we're more like, oh, we're surprised you're actually in the show. Or surprised you're not in the show. I meant, yeah.
Anyways, those were the two that I saw. That there weren't many first time guys, but those were a couple that I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Favorite minor character of the episode?
Well, Fudge, I did write down there, but I have Lance, played by
Alicia Yaffe. It looks like I would say.
Yeah, he's a comedian. Not much stuff in there, but he hates his job. He's bored out of his mind.
He's the copy store guy, right?
Yeah, he's the copy store guy.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. He was kind of fun. I think I've had him before, but Ernesto, like he is.
Yeah, it's good.
I agree with Jimmy. Ernesto has earned a raise.
Yeah, I think he's Ernesto's up there for a possible like minor character of him and Omar. Minor character of the season. Definitely.
I agree.
Both those guys are going to be heavily favored. The betting odds are going to be high. I don't know the odds, but they're going to be high.
Yeah. Those are both really good ones. All right. Best Saul one-liner.
I keep on forgetting to write this. I write down like the first two I hear, but there was another one that I really liked, but I can't remember it. I'm getting mixed signals here at the dentist's office. Okay. Oh, double-barreled it. Yeah, double-barreled.
Just like that. Double barrel. Thumbs up. Yeah, that was. I had that down. That was pretty good. Even though I think that was more Kim than him, but it was still worth.
Well, he says, "Oh, double barrel."
Yeah, that was good. That was good. What did I have down? I had I had double barrel thumbs up, and then the other one it wasn't Jimmy, it was Chuck. The man is Svengali. I don't know how he does it. The man is Svengali. It's like let's keep up with the references no one knows. Chuck, good job. Yeah. I'm sure Jimmy had some stuff in the fudge scene. I know he did. I don't think I wrote any of it down. I thought I did. But I guess I didn't have any of it down. There were some things, and then like, all right, start moving the dolly, and the dolly is the wheelchair. Like,
oh yeah,
like that's
good one.
You're looking heroic. Yeah, it's good stuff. Where'd you
Why
find
did
this guy?
Finding the axis of power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the
Yep.
line. I remember now. He's like, "Hey, look, soundproof for like hide all the dentistry and pain." Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
All right, best Breaking Bad reference.
Oh, it's the doghouse.
Mm.
That's where Jesse was selling the meth before Walter White, and yeah, it's the doghouse. They're eating their hot dogs. Though I think it was like, I think we had a dispute about the doghouse when we talked about Breaking Bad. Now I don't know if
Oh,
you
because he
remember
was
this.
eating like nachos at the doghouse, wasn't he?
Yeah, but so that's one thing I couldn't remember what he was eating, so I might have to go back and watch see what the nachos were running, or if
Was
they,
it
if they were,
nacho? It was nachos
yeah, it was something
or
like that.
tacos or something
Tacos.
like that.
But I looked on, I thought it was tacos, but I saw burgers, I saw hot dogs. I necessarily don't remember seeing tacos on that menu, but they show the menu pretty well, so I need to go back and watch that. But the
Yeah.
doghouse is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's good.
there was going on the just looking at the thing on the getting the people's names on the wiki thing. Funny, in season 2, episode 8, the exact episode we're on Better Call Saul for Breaking Bad. He says that he swapped Saul. He's in that episode. He said he swapped Brandon's file with a public masturbator,
Oh,
and he did like the little swapperoo, which he swapped the numbers, and he also had a public masturbator in the same episode.
that's pretty
Is
good.
that a coincidence? No, because it's Vince Gilligan.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I would never have caught that if somebody else didn't write that down. I was like, that's just a cool fact. That's just cool.
That is a good one. That is a good one.
And of course,
So
yeah.
Yeah, the doghouse is good. My Breaking Bad reference is just the idea of hiding drugs in a refrigerated food truck. Like, it's something we've seen before. Now Mike is hunting the truck instead of hiding inside it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
Midlife crisis moment.
Getting your kids involved in yard work. In this case, grandkids.
Yes, that's a good one. That is a good one.
And I'm pretty sure Mike Ehrmantraut follows your like TCM watches, like because he was watching like the Final Girl or something like that. I don't know.
His Girl Friday, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, something like that with Gary Grant, right? Gary Grant.
He is definitely a TCM frequenter.
Yeah,
for sure. The one I had down was you already referenced it a little bit. It was in the scene with Howard and Kim, and he's like, I was harder on you because I expected more of you, and I knew you could do it. I've had that before where it's just like where someone's pushing you. No, you're getting pushed a little more because you can handle getting pushed a little more, but also at the same time you kind of get burned out by it too. And that's kind of where Kim was at. Like you can, yes, I'm capable of more, but also willing to like
not
there's a spot where you've gone too far. And
there's
for
a fine
Kim,
line.
like there's a fine line there. And I understand that line. I get that line.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that line. And yeah, I thought that was good. That moment there, like I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
That's a good point. Good point.
LVP of the episode.
LVP of the episode. This one I had a harder time coming up with something, honestly. Yeah, I think maybe the pilots, the actual guys who want to take a photo of Fudge.
That's what I had down.
Okay.
Those guys are my LVP, just simply for the moment that's coming when they realize that they took a picture with some random dude that has nothing to
Rando.
do with any of it. Like that's gonna be that's the moment. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's LVP. It's less the soldiers and more the moment where they realize that their treasured picture is useless and worthless. That's what it is.
It would be funny if it it would be funny if they show that photo in the commercial with Fudge. It would be really funny.
That'd be good. That'd be pretty good if they were able to if he somehow he gets a hold of it because he's not the one that took it. So yeah, that would be an interesting one. Okay. MVP. I'll go first on this one. My MVP, I have Kevin Wachtel, the head of the Mesa Verde Bank. Because you're kind of on the roller coaster ride with him during this episode. Like you sit in with the pitch meeting with Kim and like that makes all the sense in the world. We should go with that. Like that whole suit analogy she used, that was perfect. Like you need someone who's tailored to you, and your representation should be the same as your suit. It should be tailored to you, and you're my only client, and we're gonna work together on this, and it's gonna be great. But then you're also with them as Chuck's talking. Like, as good as that sounded, this is the safe option, and you guys are boring, and that's a good thing. And also, like we talked about him at one point when he first popped up, but that it's one of the best like random that faces in this. When he popped up for the first time, he's my MVP because you kind of are sitting next to him in several scenes throughout this episode, and you can't blame him for the decision he makes in the end either.
Yeah, a very good point there. I have a similar thing, but my MVP is Chuck. While I don't like it, I think he just has that experience to know how to retain. And even though his power is retaining, but it's also his kryptonite is everything else. So it took him out. But I think for what was needed for this episode, Chuck is the MVP. So
that's good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 2 episodes left. What's happening next?
Well, the makeshift spike strip he's going after that ice cream popsicle truck, torturing.
But how? Like, what's he gonna do with it though? Like, that's what I want. Like, is he gonna go pop the ice cream truck's tires? Is he popping Hector's tires?
He's popping the ice cream truck tires because he knows what's in there. It's money.
One of the interesting things I thought that was really good was as Mike is watching what's going on, and you can hear like the drills going off, and as they're hiding it like in the walls of the truck or whatever they're doing, Hector's hanging out outside, right? The whole plausible deniability thing. Like I'm leading this thing. I can't actually see what you're about to do, because then I can say, oh, I don't know anything about it. I wasn't in the room. I stepped outside. I don't know what happens when I'm not in the room.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. But yeah, he's going to go after the truck. Yeah, you're right. It probably has money in it going back to Don Eladio down in Mexico. So, but what's he going to do with it? Like, is he going to rob them? Is he going to like put it out like as they're crossing the border so it really gets worked over?
Yeah, I don't know what the money thing, but I think though by him capturing that truck, this is where Gus is brought into the fold, because now instead of the ice cream thing, it's going to be I can't remember if the Salamancas and the Frings were working together at that point, but I can see where Polos Hermanos their trucks could start bringing in the stuff instead of this ice cream company.
Yeah, it was kind of a working alongside each other. I don't know if they were ever fully working together.
Yeah, so
there was always that riff, like they were kind of coexisting, it felt like.
Yeah. So that's one thing I was like, I can see where that it makes sense to a certain extent, But what does he do with the money? That's where I haven't got to yet. But
I'm feeling more and more like the Mike Gus connection is going to come about because of their mutual hatred of the Salamancas.
yeah, that's a good point. And I think based off what Jimmy did in this episode, there's obviously some fallout, and this is where he does get arrested. He'll probably go to jail for this. He could serve some
Ooh.
time for it. And that's where,
Interesting.
and now by him going to jail, that's where he gets rid of the Jimmy McGill thing, and it's going to be a season 3 reveal. That's where he changes his name to Saul Goodman.
That's when Saul's going to come out.
I think that's where it could be, because granted, I don't know necessarily when this happens, but I had seen a clip, a small thing when you like click on the thing on Netflix before you click on they play a little clip. He was in an orange jumpsuit, so that's all I know. So I'm like, I don't know where that fits, but it logically looks like it could be right.
He ends up in jail at some point, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's where he'll end up in jail at this point. It makes sense, and there will be a little bit of a time gap between season 2 and season 3. And he'll be out at season 3. They're not going to show him in prison or anything like that. They could do flashbacks, I guess, if they meet somebody there. Interesting if he meets Tuco in there. Ooh. Anyway, I doubt that, but
I
don't
know if he goes to prison for this. I could see the fallout of this being when the Saul Goodman comes out. Yeah. I think one of the things is Mesa Verde ends up with neither HHM or Kim. Like
Davis in Maine.
yeah, there we go. Mesa Verde goes to Davis in Maine. But I don't think either of them get it, because it's going to come out, or they're going to go back to Kim and say they screwed everything up, and then Kim's going to be like, "Well, that sounds weird. HHM never screws anything up." And then realize that Jimmy did some slipping, and she can't in good conscience accept it. Or does she go with it because it's what she needs in that moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Do they even realize what happened and how it ended up happening? I don't know.
Howard, Chuck's too smart. I think he'll figure. I think he'll have some kind of clue. Or if they're like, "Oh, I sent you the files." No, you didn't. Well, isn't your address this? No, it's not. It's on the documents, and then he's gonna know.
Well, I think it's the address of the property they're trying to buy.
Okay, that makes good sense then.
Because they're trying to acquire another branch,
expansion, a new branch. Yeah, that's right, an expansion. Yeah, so I can see it going in a very interesting way.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting.
Both on several points. That is.
Yeah, I could see we could have like the big moment in the next episode. It could be the last episode. I could also see the next episode being just like almost like a flashback character study episode. Like I could see that come out of this too. It'll be interesting to see where we go, how it all plays out. But that's for next time.
This is very true. That's for next time. What's happening this time is we do one last thing before every episode. We do a little bit of sitting and spinning.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah, sit and spin, you buttholes.
Subscribe.